I always sound like a conspiracy theorist when I talk about this.
No, we like conspiracies. Go ahead.
And you like elevated to Kedusha.
The Hasidic memer. We're changing your name.
The place I trained at, my instructor called me the killer because he was like, she's like, I'm like this nice, polite Jewish kid, but I know how to like punch someone in the face.
Welcome to the pod. Finally.
Let's go.
It took us so long. We all grew beards, even Yaakov. All right, welcome to another episode of Two Chassids in a Pod. We have with us a very interesting guest, very cool guest. You want to introduce him?
The king of Frum Simcha on Instagram. The Turnt Jew, a.k.a. Frum Fitness, a.k.a. Yaakov Fine.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Baruch Hashem. Good to have you.
Hashem.
Came all the way up from Yerushalayim. Baruch Hashem to
Thank you
Tzfat,
so
Yer
much.
HaKodesh, to the Ruach.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
You
b'simcha.
said you were actually talking about moving. Maybe you'll move here.
It's up in the air. I have no
You
idea.
move here, you get a wife. That's the deal. Like, you move here, you have more time to focus on Torah, and then you dive into the Torah, and then Hashem's like, oh, he's ready.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good.
'Cause
That's
there's
a very good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, take
There's
it up, man.
there's no time for business here. There's no opportunities anyway.
Yeah, we've said it a few times already on the podcast. Tzfat is Rashi Tevot Tzrichim Parnasa Tamid. Always need Parnasa here, so.
Yeah.
Zat Hashem.
Also, talking about Parnasa, you have the #1 meme, Jewish meme channel on Instagram. You call it channel page.
I should say #1 from Jewish page because
From
like
Jewish page,
there are
of
like there are other Jewish pages that are bigger than mine, but whatever, they're more like
not so kosher.
I don't want to speak Lashon Hara, but
But they're not the Turnt Jew.
they're not the Turnt Jew exactly.
How does one get into making a meme
Okay.
page?
Okay, so growing up, or just like in high school, I guess, memes were always like kind of niche. Like it was like kind of like a niche, like kind of nerdy thing to like be into memes. But around like 2014, maybe 2015, they started becoming like way more mainstream. And all these accounts on Instagram were getting like millions of followers with all these like really funny memes about just like random things in daily life. So I was following those for a while and they were making me laugh. And I was sending them to friends, whatever. And then like I like a light bulb went off in my head one day, and I'm like, wait, you can make 1 million of these about like daily life as a Frum Jew.
So true.
Yeah, it's really cool to see like memes that are based on Judaism. Like I've never seen, I think, or I've seen here and there, but like so many and like really original, funny ones, and from all different types. Even you did the ones about Pesach now, I think.
Yeah, I did. I've done a few about Pesach.
Even on us, you did one.
Exactly.
That was nice.
Guys, l'chaim.
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 Let's get everyone.
L'chaim.
Let's get turned.
So you get this idea. Oh, yeah, it's true. Is it Tuesday? Technically, yes.
I think it's
obviously
Monday,
right.
no?
Yeah, no, but we're
Monday.
Jews.
Monday.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it just started Tuesday,
Of course,
right now.
we're Jews. Thanks for reminding me. You know?
The day starts at night, guys. Yerev Boker.
Yeah.
So you get this idea, like, okay, let's make Frum memes.
Yeah, I was just like playing around with it, and I spent like an hour or two like one day just like figuring out how to make memes. And I was in a WhatsApp group with like a bunch of close friends from yeshiva, so I would just like post them, and they were like, "Oh, that like this is really funny. Where'd you find them?" And I was like, "Well, I made it actually." And they're like, "Oh, you gotta post these online." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." So I started posting them online, and like at the time it was just like my personal Instagram, so the people who were following me were like people I knew for the most part. So they would text me and be like, "These are so funny. Like you need to like keep doing this." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." I was just having fun with it. I was never intending on like becoming a big thing.
Getting so turned.
Exactly.
So when did that happen? When is it like no longer, okay, this is not Yaakov anymore, this is an alter ego, this is a new page, this is
After a
its own
couple
thing?
months, I think. So I started making memes like right a few months before I made Aliyah, like back in 2016 or something.
Mazal tov.
Thank you.
Pay attention, guys, in Chutz La'aretz.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 would recommend making Aliyah. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after a couple months, I was like, okay, I need like a name, a persona, something. So I don't know. At the time, everyone was saying like let's get hella turned, and I thought it was the funniest. I just thought it was just like the funniest phrase in the world. So I was just like, the Turnt Jew, and I was like, that kind of rolls off the tongue. So I just did that, and
It does. Oh, we gotta turn off the
Technical
fan.
Guys, just so you know, every time we try to have a podcast with holy people, there's problems.
Wow. Yeah.
Anyways.
yeah. So I was having fun with that. So during my first 2 years of Aliyah, I was a madrich in a couple different American yeshivas. So the guys there discovered I was like making these memes, and they thought they were really funny, and they told their friends, and it just kind of like spread by word
Every
of
yeshiva
mouth.
year, you get another
Pretty
2,000
much.
people.
Pretty much. And then there was one day I woke up and there was a larger account. What was it called? It was called like Jew Things or something. I don't know if they're still up anymore, but they reposted one of my memes and gave me credit and tagged me in it. And I woke up and I had like 400 or 500 new followers, and I was like, whoa, like this, like I'm a thing now. Yeah. And I don't know, from then on, I was just like, okay, like this is just something I do for fun. And I like, even to this day, I'm just having fun with it. I'm not like stressing over like getting like tons of followers, or like, I just do this for fun. And for anyone who's looking to get into social media, or at least like for fun, I would say don't stress over numbers. Focus on making quality content that people will like, because I felt like kind of stressed for a while, like, oh, I had to post like 3 times a day or whatever, and I did
watching
do that.
Gary V?
A little bit, not.
Yeah, he gets people into that.
Yeah. So I was doing that for a while, and I was kind of like getting stressed over it, and it was turning into quantity over quality. So I was like, okay, maybe I need to scale it back. So I just do like 1 a day, or I try to aim for 1 a day, and I think they're more quality than before, where I was just like putting out content for the sake of putting out content. So
Yeah, the thing I'm most impressed with is that it is a Frum Jewish memes. Like, where do you find such things? And the interesting is, you weren't always Frum, right?
No, so I was born and raised in Seattle, and I grew up like in the conservative movement. So I went to like Jewish elementary school and Jewish summer camps and stuff, but at home I didn't keep Shabbos or keep kosher or anything.
Wow, and you decided to become Frum like at a very young age, right? I was reading you.
Yeah, like
around high school time.
Yeah, I was like. So basically. So here's the story. So I went to a like conservative Jewish elementary school. Then I went to a non-Jewish middle school, and I hated it, so I wanted to get out. So there was this yeshiva high school in Seattle that was like really small, which is something I wanted at the time. And a lot of my friends from my elementary school actually ended up going to the high school. So I was like, okay, if I go here, I'm in a small environment, and I have
conservative kids went to. Other kids besides you?
They went to
a yeshiva, a day school?
Yeah. I mean, so the school's Frum, but not all the kids are. So
is it
like
at a Sunday school type of thing, or it's like
no,
every
it's a
day?
school.
No, it's
yeah,
like high
day
school,
school,
like,
but it's yeshiva.
Yeah. Yeah. So they ended up going because they wanted to be in like a small school and stuff also. So I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. And my parents were very perplexed at first, and but they're like, hey, if you want to do my parents have always been big on like, this is what you want to do and you know it, then
what was the motivation behind that? Because I'm really shocked by that, because I did the opposite. I grew up in a like pretty Frum like environment. I was
really?
Like, no, I don't want this. I went to like a non-Jewish school.
You didn't go to an American public school.
Yeah, is that bad?
Yeah,
it can get that bad.
I mean, basically, I wanted to be in a small environment, and I was just like, I hated the kids in my middle school, so I was just like, I need to go somewhere else. But public school was like, well, this place is like way too big, so I was like, okay, maybe I can give this like small.
How many kids were in your school, in the non-Jewish school?
The non-Jewish school, not so many. Like maybe 300, 400, 500, 600 max.
So my high school was 5,700 kids in four grades.
This is in the United States.
Yeah, 4 grades.
United States is so weird.
It's insane.
So that's why it's like, if you're not used to that,
it's very different.
It's way different, yeah. And you're the minority. Immediately, you're like,
wow.
You're the Jew,
that's
and
intense.
you stand out. You know.
Yeah. You feel that when you're there, like everybody's looking at you, like they know you're Jewish, or that one.
You mean like when I'm walking around like in
a public school or type of thing?
Sort of. I don't know. I just like don't really care what other people think. So, like I was visiting Seattle shortly after the Chagim in October, and I was walking around with the kippah, but like nobody made any comments, and I don't know. I'm just not self-conscious about it anymore because I'm comfortable in my own skin, so I don't really care what others think.
I feel also like in the United States, like anti-Semitism is way less than Europe. Maybe now actually it's turning over.
Depends, yeah.
I'm not sure.
I would walk down the street and people would curse at me for being Jewish.
Yeah, but Belgium is very
people
bad.
trip me and like it's really bad.
So I can thankfully say I've never had an experience like that. That's not to say obviously it happens, but I've never had a personal encounter with that. So very thankful with that. But
so you get to this high school and
so I started doing NCSY there, and I would say I started becoming like more interested in Judaism when I was like 16, 17, like 10th and 11th grade. I wasn't making any like hard commitments like, oh, I want this like for the rest of my life, but I would go to like friends for Shabbat, and I would be around like a Shabbos dinner, and it was just like, to me it was just like a very beautiful thing, just like families like coming together, and I just saw like some beauty in that. And
it was very different from how you grew up. Did you have also Shabbos table? And
no, we did. It was just like, but it's like different, you know what I mean? It's like
Kiddushin and TV.
Yeah, pretty much.
I went through that stage too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wow. So you saw the beauty, the holiness in that thing that attracted you.
Yeah. At the time I was also like, I was very like a depressed kid in high school, and I don't know, I just felt like I wasn't going anywhere in life. So part of me was like, maybe I should like try and pivot and like move things into a new direction. And I was just like, I got nothing to lose by just, giving this a shot. I don't need to make any lifelong commitments right now. And I remember there was one NCSY Shabbaton. It was right before finals week, and I was like getting really into it at the time, or really into NCSY at the time. And I was the only one from Seattle there.
Sorry, okay, so it's like, what is NCSY?
Yeah.
Because I'm Belgian, and to me that sounds like
I also
CIS or like some police department or something.
Sorry, I'm just like used to talking about this with Americans, so they know exactly what I'm talking about. It stands for National Conference Synagogue Youth. It's a Jewish like youth group that's based on Kiruv for high schools. So I have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people who became Frum through
my wife as well. So.
Oh really? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I was like,
to bring the kids together, weekends, Shabbatons.
It's like Bnei Akiva kind of.
Yeah, kind of, pretty much, more or less. So I just like remember like every Shabbaton I was like coming back, and I felt like just like a little bit better about myself, like a little closer to Hashem. And so it just like got in my mind, like maybe I should like even though I don't know exactly what being close to Hashem means exactly, like it's something I wanted. So I don't know, I just started feeling like way better about myself. And it was a slow and gradual process. And then I think it was like towards the end of 11th grade, I was just like, I want this. Even if I'm not 100% sure what being, committed to the Torah means, I wanted it.
The feeling of being with people and keeping Shabbat
is
you can't deny it. Like you feel it and you don't know exactly what it is, but it's very powerful. Very powerful.
Exactly. The director of Seattle NCSY at the time was of the Seattle chapter was he was really helping me out with just giving me general guidance and advice on how to deal with situations, and like he helped me pick out which yeshiva to go to, and so I owe him a lot with.
So you didn't go to college like the typical American?
No, I did go. I mean, I went to yeshiva after. I went to Leva Torah in Ramat Beit Shemesh. I spent a year and a half there. My parents were very perplexed because like I don't know if you remember, like, do you remember like when you were like 13 and all your friends were having bar and bat mitzvahs, and like you would have to, and it was like every weekend you were at a bar or bat mitzvah.
I didn't have that because I was already religious, and most of my friends were conservative or reform, so I wasn't really going. But
and I just didn't have so many friends.
Okay,
so wasn't so popular either.
Well, basically everyone.
But I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Like in 7th grade, there's like the bar mitzvah circuit where every weekend you have to go to shul for synagogue. I remember I always begged my parents to like let me skip and just go to the party that night. So my parents were like very perplexed because they never saw me as someone who took an interest in religion. But they're like, if you want this, then we'll stand behind you on it. So.
That's great.
So wait, NCSY played more of a role than the school, than going to a religious
The school definitely helped. But I don't know, it was just like, it was kind of like at school, it was like what I was learning, it was like tied to like homework. So there was kind of unintentionally like a negative like look at it at the time, whereas like I was on these Shabbatons and I was like, oh, I want to learn, I want to be closer to Hashem. So there was like more of a natural desire for it. It's hard to explain, but
no, it's like Pnimiyut Torah. It's like it's like learning Kabbalah and Chassidut versus learning Gemara. Like Gemara can be very interesting, but like it doesn't necessarily always do what like 3 sentences of Chassidut can do to you.
Exactly,
that can set you going for months.
I think it's also the fact that you chose it is like such a different thing, right? Like when you were like kind of like forced to learn, or like people wanted you to learn, you were like kind of less into. But when you choose it,
it felt it felt more like natural, I guess. What was I gonna say? Oh, so so in senior year, in 12th grade, I was like, okay, I want to go to yeshiva after high school, and like I was just like very dead set on that. And so I went to Leva Torah in Ramat Beit Shemesh, and I had the most wonderful time, and I was just like growing, like just like from the start. And my parents were very worried I was gonna like, flip out and like never talk to them again, and like
grow a beard and pay us.
Exactly.
I love you, parents. I still talk to you.
But like every Rav I talked to was like, you need to like keep in contact with your parents, and like I mean I never had any thoughts about like abandoning them, chas v'shalom, but it
happens to some people. Some people they break off completely.
Yeah.
But great that you still had this connection.
Exactly, and they saw I was like just like personality wise, I'm like the same guy. I didn't go anywhere. I just, do my own thing, kind of.
Yeah. Connected to the source a little bit more,
Exactly.
It's vital. It's vital also like for a healthy lifestyle and of like our self-confidence and just being able to like, I feel like once you get into the Frum community or into the more religious circles, it doesn't matter whether it's like yeshivish or Chassidic or Sephardi or anything. It doesn't really matter. Like there's much more sense of community and connection and being with a person and being able to socialize a lot more. I know that for sure that was my experience. Just being able to like, you let your walls down a little bit because you realize everyone is trying to do the same thing. Like we're all just trying to connect to Hashem. We have our hardships, but the common goal and the common denominator that we're all Jews and we're trying to work towards this life of a connection of spirituality. It allows you to connect to other people as well. So NCSY, that's amazing that they're able to do it. I never went to it.
I was like the Seattle poster boy for a while.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Pretty much. Unofficially, but yeah.
Were you already ripped then?
No, I was not ripped then.
Wow, now you should call him. Take me now.
Yeah, that gets you married.
Without the shirt.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So what about fitness? From fitness.
Okay, so that's more of like a recent thing. So growing up, I was like a fat kid basically, and whatever. I was like very self-conscious about how I looked, and I was just I kind of like accepted it. Then in high school, I had like a growth spurt in high school, so I like kind of thinned out a little bit. I was still like a little, chunky, whatever. But I was like, okay, I wasn't like, horrendously overweight by any means. Then yeshiva, my madrich at the time, like, he just kind of stressed the importance of just like, going on a run once in a while, just to like, clear your head or whatever. So started getting more into running just to, I didn't really care about like losing weight or anything. I just wanted to,
the mental health benefits.
Exactly. Relieve stress basically. So I did that for a while, and even at YU. Then, I don't know, then here in Israel, I don't know, I guess back at YU, I was also dealing with like, depression, like mental health issues. And, I took up, I always love surprising people with this, but I took up Krav Maga for like a few years, and I mean, you guys were in the army.
Just gonna ask that.
Yeah,
you seem like the Krav Maga type of guy.
Some sort of martial arts.
Yeah.
The place I trained at, my instructor called me the killer because he was like, she's like, I'm like this nice, polite Jewish kid, but I know how to like punch someone in the face.
Killer fitness.
Exactly.
Might be more powerful than Frum fitness.
Maybe. So I was doing that for a while, and eventually in Israel, like a couple years ago, I was like, okay, I want to, embark on this journey. I want to like take control of my image. So I started getting more into weight training, and I had no idea what I was doing at first. Like I went to a gym, but I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing with like what workouts to do or like how many repetitions or whatever. So I hired a trainer, and he got me into shape. And it's funny, I still get like random calls. I had this trainer, his name was Joey, and I'll get like random calls from people. Be like, oh yeah, I talked to Joey and he referred me to you because he said you're like one of his like best clients he's ever had. And I was like, oh, thank you. So I just started noticing like I was just way more confident. I was less depressed. I had more energy to do everything. And I'm like, why isn't this talked about like in the Frum community? Like I just feel like it's never emphasized enough. And we always hear like Ivdu et Hashem v'simcha, but it's like it's hard to do that when your body is like actively working against you. Yeah. So
wow,
I want to get more, do more outreach with that. So, and at the time I was working a job in marketing, and I don't know, I can't sit in a cubicle for like 8 hours. I don't know how people do it. So
you can't be happy if your body's like unhappy, then your mental state's not going to be happy.
Exactly.
And many people are going to relate to that, I'm
and
sure.
I write a lot like on Facebook and on Frum Fitness, like just like how my life like really changed. And like everyone who knew me was just like, wow, you're like different. You're more bold. You're more confident. I was like, I am more bold and confident. Thank you. So,
and it's like, you feel that it had that much of an effect that just working out routinely, like,
I mean, I'm not going to say like, okay, you'll get in shape and suddenly all your problems are solved. But
no. But like
but what it did is it gave me the confidence, the motivation, because I looked at this one part of my life where I was like, like growing up, I never thought I'd be like a thin guy. I'd never thought I'd know what it would be like to be thin. Now suddenly I reached this goal. I'm like, what else am I capable of? So wow. I really feel like I can. I don't know. I feel like way more motivated to like push myself in other areas. My davening's better. I learn more than usual. I learn with more intensity too, like more focus.
That's the thing, because in yeshiva it's frowned upon and they don't do it. But if they knew that you would be learning better and praying better,
exactly.
It's so sad. The Rebbe was totally for it.
Really?
For it. Like I think he talked about putting a swimming pool, even like about swimming, because swimming is very healthy for your body and for your mental state and breathing and everything.
I mean,
and then you just learn better, like you said.
To be fair, I've had a few rebbeim in the past like tell me like you should exercise, but like
really, wow, that's good.
I mean, it's not like a common thing. It was just like, oh, it's nice to do to like relieve stress, but like I'm more about like using it as a part of your lifestyle. And I think I remember like the first steps are always like the hardest, because there's a lot of like misinformation out there and like a lot of confusion about how to get in shape properly. So that's why I started Frum Fitness, to educate people, to help them out with the first steps of getting into shape and like changing their lives.
What's the most common mistake you see people make?
Okay, first is assuming that like, oh, I can never like eat pizza again, or I can never enjoy Shabbos. Yeah. Yeah. They're like, oh, I can like eat whatever on Shabbos. I'm like, yeah, you just have to make the other 6 days of the week count, as I like to say.
Yeah. As long as the majority of your week you're eating healthy, you're good, basically.
Exactly. And I teach my clients, that how to like, having a good relationship with food is not just eating healthy, but it's also being able to take a break, like just being able to enjoy Shabbos and not stress out over it.
So this kind of touches on dieting. So like dieting versus working out. I mean, like they're both obviously have tremendous health effects, but like how important, like is one way more important than the other? From your experience again.
I would say that diet is much more important, because like to get someone to their health goal, to like lose weight, food is like 80% of that.
Oh, wow.
And it's also, health isn't just, eating the right foods. It's also, or just like, it's not just making sure you're losing weight, but it's also making sure you're getting foods that are fueling your body properly, that are, you're getting the right vitamins and minerals and all the nutrients that you need so that your body functions optimally.
What diet do you follow? Do you follow a specific diet?
Kosher diet. But that's...
I'm gonna sound like an insane person here, but I eat like the same thing every day except Shabbos. Shabbos is like my day off basically, but I eat the same thing every day. To go through like a typical day, I have eggs in the morning and like an apple. Then for lunch, I have fish, sweet potato, mushrooms, broccoli. What else? And tomatoes. And then for dinner, I have chicken, rice, cauliflower, and like string beans, and yeah,
A lot of vegetables.
exactly.
Why?
Because
It
those,
fuels you.
yeah, you get all the necessary vitamins and minerals you need, and like processed foods are like really terrible, basically.
You feel also shitty afterwards. You feel
Mhm.
like, sorry, shooty.
No, the TY makes it cuter. You know, it's like it softens
I always,
It's okay,
I,
man.
I always sound like a conspiracy theorist when I talk about this.
No,
but
we like conspiracies. Go ahead.
Please.
okay, basically, we've been conditioned as a society to eat way more than we need to by, all these like junk foods. Do you remember, I don't know if this was a thing where you guys grew up, but on TV, every time there was like a commercial for a breakfast cereal, it'd be like part of a nutritious, balanced breakfast. And it's like, there's no nutrients in cereal. It's sugar. It's like, it's processed sugar. It's awful.
Also,
And-
in like halacha, they say like you shouldn't like snack throughout your day. Have
Exactly.
your meals, and you eat your meals. Don't snack throughout. Like it's an advice, obviously.
Yeah.
But would you say you have to eat more when you work out? Because if you're building up muscle, for you, like, do you eat more than the average person, or you think you eat? Would you say you eat the same?
I don't know. I mean, I don't like snack that much. Like I have big meals, but I don't
Mhm.
really snack that much in between. So
But you do have big meals, like 3 like main.
I'm full after my meals. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and what about red meat versus like chicken, fish, and all this?
Honestly, there's like
Because you didn't mention any red meat in there in your daily.
I do
6
not have
days
a
week.
day. I do not have a daily because chicken's much cheaper. So
It's the
Schnitzel.
money.
that's why. Exactly.
Excuse me, guys.
I thought you were gonna throw up for a second.
Nah. You disgust me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This all ties in though. It's like Vasuli Mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham, right? Like you will make for me a mikdash and I will dwell among you. The body is like a temple, and we have to, not that we have to worship the body, but we, just like you clean the temple, and there's certain things you bring into it and you don't. So it's the same thing as well. And once I feel also a person that doesn't lead a healthy lifestyle, you're kind of, like you said, it affects your avodat Hashem. It really affects your avodat Hashem.
It affects your mental health. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely need to start working out. Not to gain
I
weight,
have
not
a
to
heavy
lose
bag
weight.
now. Come
We'll
from
talk.
an heavy bag.
But just
We'll,
to like,
we'll talk afterwards.
Here, you got a trainer now.
Exactly, make us a little program, just like
You
just
won't
to
move
run a
spot,
little
and
bit.
now you have your trainer.
Yeah.
Too. But yeah, just to like like everything that you mentioned that it benefits for, everything that you said that's not physical, I would love to have that.
Yeah.
More prayer, more like concentrated prayers, more power to learn Torah, to not be snacking, in between. That is a physical thing, but it's from a type of a place of like, I don't need to put this food in right now. I have a meal later. I have, I have times that I eat.
Yeah. Also, when I was getting into health and fitness, I noticed there were so many overlapping principles with your avodas Hashem. Like one of the first like things I remember learning when I was becoming Frum was like the idea of like not living for now, not living for just enjoying this moment, but also for the future, living for a higher purpose. It's kind of the same way where it's like, okay, you can eat now, you can like eat whatever you want, but that's not going to serve you in the long run. You want to eat foods that are going to, serve you long term and help you live a longer life.
Maintenance.
Maintenance,
care,
yeah.
Like you don't want to have to run to the doctor when you have a problem. The point is to prevent yourself from ever getting to
Yeah.
the doctor.
Exactly.
Like,
Preventing illness.
oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. I said
Yeah.
maintenance, but I meant preventive care. Like
I know what you mean, but yeah.
To lead a healthy lifestyle, and then you don't have to get into the problems. You don't have to all of a sudden do a weight loss diet of you have to take
Exactly.
up 20 pounds. Just keep it, and keep eating. And it's also like this the struggles that you said of like, oh, like I'm not. Do I have a cheat day? Am I allowed to eat pizza and other things? I think people also look at becoming religious that way. like, oh, I'm not going to be able to go out with friends to a bar. I'm not going to be able to go out. I can't go out on Saturday anymore. I'm going to be sitting at home. Like, no, if you actually get into a community and you're keeping Shabbat, you're very active and it's very fun.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, it's great.
Especially if you're Chabad.
yeah.
Chabad is pretty nice.
By the way, talking about food, what do you think about a vegan diet or, what do you think about that?
I mean, I know I'm basically, I hired a business coach a few months ago, so I'm in a network with a bunch of other trainers and if some of them are vegan, so they've been able to make great progress. So I'm personally not vegan, but I know people who do very well on vegan diets, so I'm not going to say whether it's like better or worse than like normal eating, but if vegan works for you and you want that, then go on ahead.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work for me.
Me neither.
I saw what's it called, Yaakov Langer from Meaningful People. He put up on his Instagram story. He said like, would if you had to be one of them for the rest of your life, what would you pick? To be chalavit, like to be milky, or to be
Milky.
meaty? Yeah, both of you say.
Mm.
I am meat for sure.
No, I was joking.
Nah,
I
I'd
just
go
found
with
it funny. You said
Yeah, no, I thought it was.
So-
That's
Yeah,
what
you
I'm
too,
saying.
right?
Too. No, I'm
milkshake or
fleshik
whatever.
all the way.
Yeah,
Exactly. So people majority answered on the dairy side, and he was like, "I'm so disappointed in everyone. I can't do that."
I'm
man."
lactose intolerant, so.
Yeah, exactly.
I barely have dairy, so it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have we have one dairy spoon in our house. It's for my wife to make coffee.
That's
it.
cute.
One dairy spoon.
Yeah, that's the only thing I use dairy for. It's like my coffee. That's it.
My cottage. I love my cottage. Even though I might have problems later, but.
It's also there's a lot that goes into this, but like I think an important part is that's the difference between us and the Greeks, right? That, like we talked about this in our last episode that like
Greek yogurt?
no. Yeah, like we like the cultures of the West is like very materialistic, the East is very spiritual. And like Judaism, we're in the middle path, and Greece is like a very close demographic to the Jews, the Greeks and the Greek culture. It's like the physical stripped kind of the spiritual in a way, but we're very close. Like there used to be a big relationship between Athens and Jerusalem as well back in the day, and the difference is the tzaddik, right? Israel is Tzion, and Yavan is just the same letters without the tzaddik in it. So what's the difference between Yavan and Tzion? The fact that we're tzaddikim, that even if we work out, it's for Avodat Hashem. It's not so that we we'll be buff and like we can go model.
And that's the all end. Of
Yeah,
it,
and I should probably add that like being healthy doesn't mean being like a size 2 or being like this enormous like with enormous muscles and stuff. It just means having a body that you worked for and that you're proud of. It doesn't.
And that serves you.
That serves you, exactly.
You don't want to, if you make the body into I need to be like this image, I don't think that's healthy. It definitely ruins the mental health benefits that you would get from just regularly working out. Yeah. And it's a false goal. Like I need to look like this person to be considered beautiful or to be considered fit.
Exactly.
It's not at all kosher.
You should work out and get a body that you are comfortable with, that you like, and that you're happy with.
It's an interesting mixture. Like on the one hand, you have the funny Instagram, like making people laugh, which is mental health, and on the other hand, you're trying to do this from fitness to get people more connected to working out, but in a kosher way, which helps the body, and they both help Avodat Hashem, right? Like if you can't laugh, it's very hard to be a Jew.
Also, the laughing might work out your abs or not.
Get that core.
So. Hasn't been working for me though. I don't know.
What kind of Torahs do you like getting into? What inspires you on a Torah level to do both of these holy things that you're doing?
I think just like can you say the question one more time?
Like, saying what inspires you from the Torah? Like when you have to sit down, when you choose, right, to sit down and learn Torah, what is it that does it for you? Like what sparks you? What
Chassids. I'm like I've been reading Mesilas Yeshar. Well, I don't know if that counts as Chassids, but whatever.
Close. Yeah, it's Kabbalah. It's Pnimiyut. It's inner work.
There's a deeper Torah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
and I listen to shirim from Chabad.org all the time. So
What
I
Tanya?
listen-
Daily Tanya? Or
I've been on and off with Tanya, but I listen to Daily Mitzvah every day. So
it's from the Rambam?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I actually have the book here.
oh
So I
really?
need to continue again. I've been having a break, since...
He needs a trainer, bro.
Yeah, it's because that's the thing, right? It gives you discipline also when you work out.
Absolutely. I tell my clients like, I don't care if you're not in the mood. I just need you to do it. So, yeah, it's like when you wake up in the morning. Sometimes you wake up and you're not in the best mood, but that doesn't mean like, okay, I'm not going to go to shul today. I'm just going to, do my thing. You still go to shul, you still daven, you still learn Torah. Maybe you don't have the best, mindset for it, but you still do the work.
Show up.
You still showing up, exactly.
Yeah, Rabbi Nachman talks about this also with what they do. It's like you set an appointment with Hashem every day, right? And like you have to show up. It's not
Some more water?
Yeah, sure.
like even if you have no words, right? You can show up to wherever you do your what they do every day, and you don't have anything in you, like you said, like you don't even want to talk, but just the fact that you showed up, that already shows Hashem so much, and Hashem's like loves just the fact that I don't have it in me today, but I'm still gonna come. I'm still gonna show up. I still have this meeting, and it's important to me. And man, I need to start working out, Yaakov.
Well, I do online training, so I can train anyone, anywhere.
You're gonna run it with me? I'll run with you on Zoom.
You run to Jerusalem and back.
You run in your Yerushalayim, I'll run here in Tzfat.
It's like a 20-minute run, maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
Someone's got
You're
some
running
Baal Shem Tov
fast.
Kabbalah. Fitzat Haderech.
Wow. So how do you come up with these memes? Because like you're like working out and then you're like
Okay, so I follow a bunch of like normal meme pages and
normal meme pages.
Meaning not Jewish.
not Jewish, normie memes. And when I see a picture that's just like, oh, this is a really funny picture or something I can make a caption to, I screenshot it. Then I have an app where I edit the caption to something different and then I post it. So it just kind of, I don't know, everyone's like, oh, you must spend like hours making these. I'm like, it takes me 2 minutes once I have an idea.
Oh.
So, and I have like I have a bunch on my phone, and like if I'm scrolling through pictures, I'll like come across it and be like, oh yeah, I had this picture, like maybe I can make a caption for it. So yeah.
Great. You literally go into the darkness of the meme world and you like elevated to Kedusha.
The Hasidic memer. We're changing your name, man. Turnt is so last year.
Oh my gosh.
That's
The
we're not
Turnt
getting
Chassid.
the Turnt Chassid. That's
Yeah.
it. You've been elevated, bro.
But
Came to Tzfat,
and
became a
people
Chassid.
also send me some of their memes, and like if it's really fun, if it makes me laugh, my rule is if it makes me laugh, then I'll post it. So sometimes I get posts that are really funny, and some of my posts that got the most engagement came from other people. So
It's good.
Yeah.
That's good that you also provide a platform for other people that
yeah,
It's
you're not
like
the
what
only
we do.
funny person.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
Otherwise we have to listen to each other talk the whole time.
Which we need to do, by the way. We need to have our own little
Talk.
for bringing, yeah. Talk it out on camera.
We gotta talk, man.
That's some of the scariest phrases to hear. We have to talk.
Yeah, as
Are
long
you
as it's not
breaking
from
up
the
with me?
wife, it's fine. Yeah, enjoy the life so far,
Yeah,
Exactly.
Sat Hashem. What's on your shidduch resume? Can we get it out there? You wanna let the people know?
Oh gosh.
Put him on the spot.
Yeah, why not? Go on, take another l'chaim if you're ready.
L'chai.
I'm drinking 2 cups of water now. Baruch Hashem.
Oh, I poured.
It's all good.
Yeah. I want to keep you in shape, you were talking about it.
Yeah, you need more oxygen, the power of water. It's important to drink a lot of water, right? Even if you're not
Yes.
working out.
Exactly. I drink water all the time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, man. Go around with our little bottles.
exactly.
Do you have any questions for us?
I guess how did you guys? I don't know. You said you didn't grow up from, or you did grow up from, and then you weren't. And
Yeah.
can I ask about that? So
Yeah, so basically I grew up from like modern Orthodox. Like
okay.
I don't know how that is that the same in the States? Basically
I
like
imagine
you
so.
keep Shabbos and you keep all the mitzvahs but to the minimum,
Yeah, more or less. I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
like boys and girls still together and
Yeah.
they still date and it's very very modern. I didn't connect to that at all because I'm the type of guy that's like all for it or all not for it,
Mhm.
I think we can all relate since
Yeah.
you're like also special. Like you're all into your
I
thing.
I like when I look back on my life, or like the decisions I made. It was I actually am definitely a all or nothing kind of guy.
I think it's good. I think it's good to be all or nothing. Otherwise,
I
you're
think
just
so.
gonna.
Yeah.
So basically, I didn't like it, and by the age of like 13, I moved to live with my dad, and then I quickly moved to go to a boarding school because I lived so far away from the Jewish school that I didn't like to travel. So 2 hours a day, and I was just totally done with it, and so I just decided to go and go totally off the derech and check it out, check what the non-Jewish life is all about. Because like I didn't get it. Like I have to keep Shabbos, but there is no, in the Chassids, the beautiful thing is like it all has meaning. But when you like,
You're just like why when there's no context, it's like why the heck am I doing this? So
what am I actually doing? Someone said 3,000 years ago that this is what I have to do, and like that's it. You just expect me to do it.
I mean, Nasem V'Nishma, we need to still do.
Yeah, but that was then. They said it. If you don't get explained what Naseh V'Nishma is now in this generation, right? Then it's like,
exactly.
My ancestors said keep this and do this. It's a tradition, so But no.
How do you know the Torah is true?
Yeah.
No, and that's also what really helped me. Because, like, I was like, okay, I believe there is a God. I always believed. I never would never eat pork. I would never do certain things. But, yeah, I wouldn't be the best Jew. But then one day I was looking into UFOs. Talking about conspiracy theories. Because, like, what's going on with the world? Where do we come from? Maybe it's the aliens.
That's funny.
Who knows? What do you think about aliens?
Gotta make a meme about it.
I don't know. I've never thought seriously.
Ever had an encounter with something?
No.
Well, you've never been to Tel Aviv, bro?
There's a lot of aliens there. No, I was once actually in the army, and like I saw like 3 dots in the sky when I was on guard, and they were moving very weird, like white lights. Yeah, it was very strange.
I think we call those airplanes, but okay.
They didn't move like airplanes at all. They were like moving back and forth, like very strange. But anyway, so I was looking into the UFO thing, and I came across pyramids, and then I came into this documentary about this Christian guy that basically he goes to all over the world to find out if the Bible is true, like the Old Testament. And he finds so much proof in the archaeology, so much proof everywhere. And he basically pieces all the puzzles together. And I was just crying the entire documentary. I was just bawling. And at the end of the documentary, I remember like being literally on my knees and being, it's true. It's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And from then on, I knew that it was true. I like it. He explained it and like showed it. And like I need to logically understand it and see it to believe it. At that point, at least in my life, to have something like to know there's some proof. And they did it for me. And then also Rav Alon Nava video about like if you go to up there and you haven't taken your shit together, if you don't have your stuff together, let's say like this, then you're in trouble up there. So I was like, that motivated me. Also a bit of Musar. But then what really got me there, and I think like you were saying, is like the Chassids. It's like that is what really motivates you at the end of the day. Like the beauty of Chassids and the deeper meaning that you get to know Hashem basically through
power of YouTube. Rabbi YouTube.
Yeah.
That's where we're also here, 2 Chassids in a pod, but you have so much Torah on YouTube, different, and it's all different types. You have halacha classes, you have Zohar classes, you have Chassids, you have all different Chabad, Breslev, Satmar, anything you want to learn, it's all on there. Obviously, at a certain point, we have to get off YouTube and open the books, but
for sure.
But
now and then.
I listen to at least 2-3 shiurim a week on YouTube that I can't get to because they're in Yerushalayim. But thank God the rabbis, put them online, and we can get them. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think we're in this age that like what you're doing and what we're trying to do with this podcast, we're like trying to change like the internet, basically, like making it holy. Because like these platforms are meant, I think, for Kedusha. The Rebbe
there's tremendous potential for Kedusha, absolutely.
Yeah, the Rebbe said it once. Like we heard it like a story from someone saying in the podcast before. Like the Rebbe said, like the radio was meant for Tanya. It was made for Tanya, and I think YouTube too. And I think everything, for Torah, it was all meant for Torah. And it's beautiful that you're doing your part and we're trying to do our part and together making this world a better place.
Bezat Hashem.
Bezat Hashem, yeah.
That's the goal. You have
Doing
a message.
shlichus.
you have a message for the people out there, one for happiness and one for physical and mental health, maybe.
Okay, so as far as physical health goes, your body is absolutely worth taking care of, and I can just I won't promise it will be easy, but I can promise it will be absolutely worth it, because you only have one body. Hashem gifted it to you, and it's up to you to take care of it. And I talk about this all the time online, but just my life improved exponentially in just like every area, and I still have yet to meet someone who put in a lot of work, got into shape, and said like, oh, this wasn't worth it. So it just improves every aspect of your life. And as far as mentally goes, I would say don't let what you struggle with define you. When I was very depressed in high school and college, I was kind of letting that like define me in a way, and instead of saying I'm a great guy who just occasionally gets depressed, I was like, oh, I'm like, I would describe myself as a very depressed person. So I would say try and get out of that mindset if you can. Obviously easier said than done, but yeah, just when you're trying to improve yourself, be easy on yourself. Don't beat yourself up when you make mistakes, because those are inevitable, and the only thing that you should care about is getting up and continuing forward.
Yeah, it's emet, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rabbi Nachman also says that like if you're people look at wrestlers sometimes crazy, the things they do, like, but Rabbi Nachman said if our main war is against depression.
Mm-hmm.
And that we can see that especially in our generation, like it's a pandemic that's way more colossal than any pandemic we've been experiencing in the last year, right? Depression, and that only added to the level of depression that there is in the world, right? But like, you have to do whatever you can to not get sunken into that, and even if that means going on Turnt Jew and reading 20 minutes of memes just to laugh, or to watch a podcast from two Chassids and Frum, whatever it is. If it means clapping your hands, dancing, like sometimes I come home and I just working out. But I mean, like, shtut, even like, if working out makes you happy, then go work out, go take a run. But like,
it will make you happy.
Whatever it is, just do something. And oftentimes it's a physical act just to snap your mood, to break the pattern. I think that's one thing that helped me a lot is like breaking the pattern, right? You when you're falling into a depressing time, usually there's a similar pattern that occurs, and then like you get to that point. Mm-hmm. And if you're just able to break it and to snap out of it, then you can lift yourself back up. And I think that taps into the discipline that you're talking about. Just like just show up, work out every day, like go for a run, go for a walk, whatever it is, do something, so they don't get bored and fall into depression. It's a bad thing.
You need a good balance.
Exactly.
Of fun, work, and play.
A lot of Torah and tefillah.
And you literally have that. You have like the work, like your fitness, and then have the play, the jokes and the memes.
Yeah.
And you can combine them.
Exactly.
It's very nice.
So where can, besides the Turnt Jew, at the Turnt Jew on Instagram, where else can people find you if they want to maybe get some coaching on physical fitness?
You can find me at Frum Fitness, also on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter, although like it's funny. I didn't intend for this, but like I got a lot of non-Jewish followers. Like I post like fitness, just like general motivation, and I got a lot of non-Jews following me, which was like, it's not bad. It's just like I was just like, oh, that wasn't expected. But they're all like,
they need fitness too, man.
They're all insanely nice to me, which is like the funny thing. Like a few have like privately messaged me, and they're just like, hey, I'm not Jewish, but like I really think what you do is like really cool. And I was like, oh, thank you.
Amazing.
So,
the Jews also realize it.
So you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you're interested in coaching, I do online coaching. So no matter where you are, I can more than happy to discuss it with you and help you take the first few steps towards changing your life for the better. So
Zrat Hashem.
Zrat Hashem.
Shkayach.
We'll get started soon.
Yeah.
Get some regiment in. I don't want to be strong. I don't want to be anything. I just want to be healthier. I want dveikut. I want to pray with more dveikut. I want to be like just healthier. I want to also, pick up my kids one day, B'ezrat Hashem, and not worry, not get to
Exactly.
80 and be broken. I'm already broken at 28 soon, so I don't even know what's going to be in 20, 30 years. Got to fix some of it. B'ezrat Hashem. Thank you so much, Yaakov.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so
It's
much
really
for
good,
coming.
man.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah, no, I had a wonderful time. So
Awesome. Thank you, and who knows? Maybe we'll do this again. B'ezrat Hashem.
definitely, I would more
Maybe next time we'll be in Yerushalayim. You can check out
Absolutely.
some cool places. You can show us around.
Exactly, of course.
Running gun soccer.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank
So,
you for
guys-
watching. If you like this, we're doing every week, or even not more than once a week, podcasts like these, clips. So yeah, if you like them, subscribe, like, share, and
Comment, everything.
everything. Yeah.
If you want to support us, we have a PayPal that we're going to be adding to the description. And we'll be putting
Yeah.
Yaakov's links there as well, so you can find him. And yeah, guys, have a good kosher Pesach.
L'chaim.
Chaim.
L'chaim.
Welcome to the pod.
What's up, guys? This is the Turnt Jew, and you're listening to Two Chassids in a Pod. The place I trained at, my instructor called me the killer because he's like, I'm like this nice, polite Jewish kid, but I know how to like punch someone in the face.